Hello, everyone. Today, we're diving into the hidden war for Latin America. See how the US, China, and Russia clash over Venezuela, its vast oil wealth and strategic power. We'll reveal the shocking truths behind the crisis, crippling sanctions, and international alliances, and show how this high-stakes struggle is reshaping not just the region, but global power itself. Throughout much of the 20th century, the US exerted considerable influence in Latin America. This influence was particularly pronounced in Venezuela, due to its rich oil resources. The U.S. leveraged its economic ties to establish a pattern of reliance and control. This dynamic significantly shaped regional politics and economic structures. Venezuela holds extensive oil reserves, surpassing even those of Saudi Arabia. These reserves have historically been a major driver of Venezuela's economy. The country's oil wealth has attracted significant foreign investment. A large portion of this investment has traditionally come from the United States. Venezuela's economy was significantly fueled by its oil production. Venezuela, despite its vast oil reserves, has historically suffered from significant economic inequality. A large portion of the population has not benefited from the country's natural resources. This unequal distribution of wealth has created a deep economic divide. The economic disparity has been a major contributing factor to social unrest within the country. The oil price decline in the 1,980 seconds and 1,990 seconds significantly impacted Venezuela's economy. This drop exposed underlying vulnerabilities within the nation's economic structure. The economic downturn triggered a period of crisis for Venezuela. This crisis created conditions that fostered political change. The combination of economic and political instability marked a turning point for the country. Hugo Chávez rose to prominence as a political figure. He promised a Bolivarian revolution as his core agenda. His aims included combating corruption within the government. He also advocated for the redistribution of wealth to address economic inequality. Chávez sought to challenge the influence of the United States in the region. His message resonated with a population disillusioned by economic disparity. Chávez's government implemented a policy of nationalizing key industries in Venezuela. This included the oil industry, a crucial sector of the Venezuelan economy. Nationalization involved transferring control of these industries from foreign companies to the Venezuelan state. This shift significantly altered Venezuela's economic landscape. The nationalization policy also impacted Venezuela's international relations. The Chávez administration established a socialist welfare system. This system was primarily financed by oil revenues. It aimed to provide widespread access to education. Healthcare services were also a key component of the welfare system. The system initially improved living standards for a significant portion of the population. Chávez was openly critical of U.S. foreign policy. He accused the U.S. of imperialism. Chávez formed alliances with countries like Cuba, Russia, and China. These actions challenged U.S. dominance in the region. The emergence of China and Russia is reshaping the geopolitical landscape of Latin America. This challenges the historical dominance of the United States in the region. The increased presence of multiple global powers fosters a multipolar environment. This shift introduces new dynamics and complexities to Latin American geopolitics. Nicolás Maduro became president after Chávez's death in Artisanharum. Maduro inherited a nation grappling with significant economic difficulties. The country was also experiencing increasing political polarization. These challenges defined the initial context of Maduro's leadership. His presidency began amidst complex economic and political circumstances. Under Maduro's leadership, Venezuela faced a significant economic downturn. Hyperinflation became a defining characteristic of the crisis. Shortages of essential goods severely impacted the population. Widespread poverty rates increased dramatically during this period. These conditions led to a mass migration of Venezuelans seeking better opportunities. The economic collapse represents a critical period in Venezuela's modern history. Millions of Venezuelans have fled their country due to widespread instability. This mass exodus constitutes one of the largest refugee crises in the Western Hemisphere. Neighboring countries are experiencing strain on their resources as they accommodate the influx of refugees. The refugee crisis is significantly reshaping the demographics of these receiving nations. Russia provided financial loans to Maduro's regime. Russia also offered military support to the Maduro government. Intelligence assistance was part of Russia's support package. Russia aimed to maintain its influence in the region through this support. A key objective was to challenge U.S. dominance in the area. This support was multifaceted, encompassing financial, military, and intelligence dimensions. Rosneft, a Russian oil company, played a significant role in the Venezuelan oil trade. The company facilitated the sale of Venezuelan oil, acting as an intermediary. These operations occurred despite U.S. sanctions imposed on Venezuela. Rosneft's involvement provided crucial economic support to the Maduro government. This support helped Venezuela maintain its oil exports. Rosneft's actions had geopolitical implications due to the sanctions. Venezuela has become a strategic asset for Russia. It provides Russia with a geopolitical foothold in the Americas. This foothold allows Moscow to project power in the Western Hemisphere. Venezuela's location enables Russia to operate near U.S. borders. This proximity enhances Russia's strategic influence in the region. China provided substantial loans to Venezuela, exceeding $60 billion. These loans were made in exchange for Venezuelan oil shipments. The agreement strengthened the economic ties between the two nations. This arrangement deepened China's strategic partnership with Venezuela. The exchange represents a significant instance of resource-backed financing. Chinese companies have invested in Venezuelan infrastructure projects. These projects span multiple sectors, including power generation. Housing construction has also been a key area of investment. Satellite systems represent another sector of Chinese investment. These investments have led to a significant Chinese presence in Venezuela's economy. This embedding reflects a strategic economic partnership between the two nations. China's engagement in Venezuela is framed within the Belt and Road Initiative. The Belt and Road Initiative is designed to broaden China's global impact. This is achieved through infrastructure projects in participating countries. The initiative also fosters economic collaboration between China and its partners. Venezuela's involvement highlights the initiative's reach in Latin America. The initiative aims to establish stronger economic and political ties globally. The U.S. has imposed sanctions on Venezuela, impacting its state assets. These sanctions specifically target Venezuelan oil sales. Financial transactions involving Venezuela are also restricted under the sanctions. The objective of these sanctions is to pressure Maduro's regime to relinquish power. Sanctions intensified Venezuela's existing economic crisis. These measures led to increased isolation of Venezuela on the global stage. The crisis prompted Venezuela to strengthen ties with allies such as Russia. China also became a more prominent partner for Venezuela amidst the sanctions. Venezuela has joined an informal alliance of sanctioned states. This alliance includes countries such as Russia and Iran. These states support each other's economic and political survival. The alliance collectively challenges U.S. foreign policy objectives. The U.S. government has historically engaged with Venezuelan political dynamics. This engagement included supporting opposition figures seeking political change. In 2019, the U.S. recognized Juan Guaidó as the interim president of Venezuela. Guaidó's claim to the presidency was based on challenging the legitimacy of Nicolás Maduro's leadership. The U.S. support for Guaidó aimed to facilitate a transition away from Maduro's government. Guaidó's uprising did not achieve its objectives. The uprising failed to garner widespread support. The military forces remained loyal to Maduro's government. International support was insufficient to sway the outcome. Russia and China continued to back Maduro's regime, further undermining the uprising. China and Russia are increasing their presence in Latin America. This expansion involves investments in diverse industries. Strategic alliances are being established with various Latin American nations. These partnerships aim to enhance influence in the region. Chinese firms are actively investing in Latin American infrastructure. These investments span various sectors, including space technology. China operates space tracking stations in Argentina. Chinese companies hold a dominant position in Brazil's telecommunications market. Infrastructure projects throughout the region also receive substantial Chinese investment. Russian advisors have returned to Cuba, marking a renewed presence. Russian investment is flowing into Nicaragua, reviving historical ties. These actions signal a resurgence of Russian influence in specific regions. The revived alliances evoke memories of Cold War dynamics. This resurgence indicates a shift in geopolitical strategies. The return of advisors and investment underscores Russia's renewed interest. The U.S. has established a military presence in Colombia. This presence includes troops stationed within the country. U.S. military also maintains bases in Colombia. Intelligence networks are operated to gather information. These resources are used to monitor Venezuela and the surrounding region. Latin America is currently a region of intense geopolitical competition. The United States, China, and Russia are actively competing for influence. Each nation seeks to gain strategic advantages in the region. This competition transforms Latin America into a complex geopolitical chessboard. The U.S. considers Latin America as crucial to its national security interests. A primary U.S. objective is to prevent rival powers from establishing influence in the region. This strategic interest aims to maintain regional stability favorable to the U.S. Limiting external influence is seen as vital for U.S. security and economic prosperity. The U.S. employs various diplomatic and economic tools to achieve these goals. These efforts are intended to foster partnerships and cooperation within the Americas. Russia is implementing a strategy of exerting pressure near U.S. borders. This strategy mirrors U.S. actions near Russia's borders. The counterpressure is part of a broader geopolitical strategy. The goal is to create a reciprocal dynamic in areas of strategic interest. This involves leveraging geographical proximity to influence U.S. foreign policy. The actions are designed to balance perceived U.S. influence in regions near Russia. China considers Latin America a key strategic region for its economic development. Latin America is viewed as a vital supplier of essential resources. These resources include energy sources necessary for China's industrial activities. Minerals from Latin America are crucial for China's manufacturing sector. Latin American markets provide significant opportunities for Chinese exports and investments. The Venezuelan crisis has resulted in a severe humanitarian disaster. Millions of Venezuelans are struggling with significant food shortages. A large portion of the population lacks access to adequate medical care. The crisis has caused mass displacement of Venezuelan citizens. These factors collectively define the scope of the humanitarian emergency. International aid organizations are working to alleviate the suffering. The influx of Venezuelan migrants has placed a significant strain on public services in host countries. This migration has also reshaped political landscapes across the continent. Host countries are facing increased social challenges due to the migrant influx. Economic challenges have also arisen for host countries as they integrate the migrants. The situation requires comprehensive strategies to address both social and economic impacts. The U.S. maintains a strategic presence in the Caribbean. This presence is facilitated through territories like Puerto Rico. The U.S. Virgin Islands also serve as a key stronghold. Alliances with Caribbean nations further strengthen U.S. influence. The Dominican Republic is a notable ally in the region. Jamaica also contributes to the network of U.S. alliances in the Caribbean. China has expanded its influence in the Caribbean through economic diplomacy. This strategy involves strategic investments in key infrastructure projects. These projects include the development and modernization of ports. Investments also target energy grids to improve efficiency and capacity. Furthermore, China is investing in the rollout of 5G networks across the region. The modern competition for influence in Latin America is characterized by non-military strategies. This soft war involves leveraging economic tools such as loans and trade agreements. Technology transfer and partnerships also play a crucial role in this competition. The focus has shifted from direct military intervention to subtler forms of influence. Economic and political influence are the primary objectives of this soft war strategy. Nations vie for dominance through strategic, economic, and technological alliances. The ongoing conflict, though characterized as a soft war, carries a tangible risk of escalating. Military exercises conducted by involved parties contribute to this risk. Bomber deployments further heighten the potential for escalation. These factors, combined with rising global tensions, create a volatile environment. Therefore, the situation remains precarious, with the possibility of the conflict intensifying. The convergence of energy, economics, and politics creates a complex scenario in Venezuela. Venezuela's oil reserves represent a significant economic strength. These reserves also present challenges, acting as a potential curse. This duality complicates Venezuela's overall economic and political landscape. Therefore, energy resources are both an asset and a liability for the nation. Venezuela's oil production has significantly declined due to lack of investment. The absence of foreign technology has further contributed to this collapse. This decline has reduced Venezuela's capacity to generate revenue. The reduced revenue exacerbates the existing economic crisis in Venezuela. Global energy markets are experiencing increased tightness. Venezuelan oil reserves possess strategic importance in the current market context. Lifting sanctions on Venezuelan oil could potentially lower global oil prices. Increased availability of Venezuelan oil could alleviate existing energy shortages. The strategic value of Venezuelan oil is amplified by its potential impact on price stabilization and supply security. The U.S. has quietly reopened limited talks with Venezuela. This marks a shift in diplomatic strategy towards Venezuela. Chevron is permitted to resume partial operations under special licenses. These actions indicate a calibrated approach to engagement. Geopolitical factors are compelling Washington to reevaluate its approach to Venezuela. Complete isolation of Venezuela inadvertently empowers China. Complete isolation of Venezuela inadvertently empowers Russia. The U.S. is now considering a shift in policy to counteract growing external influence. This strategic adjustment aims to reassert U.S. interests in the region. Balancing geopolitical influence requires a nuanced approach to Venezuela. China is implementing a long-term strategy in Latin America. The strategy aims to integrate the region economically into China's sphere of influence. This integration is facilitated through infrastructure projects. Loans are also used to support and expand China's economic influence in Latin America. China is employing a long-term strategy to expand its influence in Latin America. This strategy focuses on building economic ties with countries in the region. China is also increasing its political engagement with Latin American nations. This approach allows China to challenge U.S. dominance without military conflict. The expansion of Chinese influence could gradually erode U.S. power in the region. Venezuelans face significant challenges in their daily lives. These challenges are exacerbated by economic hardship. Political uncertainty further complicates the situation. Ordinary citizens are caught in the middle of global power struggles. Survival becomes a daily struggle for many. The confluence of these factors creates a complex humanitarian crisis. Despite widespread despair, resilience is evident among Venezuelans. Small businesses are beginning to re-emerge, signaling a potential economic recovery. The Venezuelan economy is experiencing partial stabilization. This stabilization is partly attributed to dollarization within the country. Dollarization provides a more stable currency for transactions and savings. The re-emergence of businesses and economic stabilization indicate underlying resilience. Venezuela's economic recovery is currently unstable and easily disrupted. The recovery's continuation is heavily reliant on external political decisions. These decisions are made by powers geographically distant from Venezuela. The resolution of global geopolitical conflicts is also crucial for sustained recovery. Venezuela's current situation reflects broader global challenges of the 21st century. The nation is experiencing a deep economic crisis, impacting its stability and development. Foreign interests and interventions play a significant role in shaping Venezuela's trajectory. Great power rivalries are also influencing the political and economic landscape of the country. These factors combine to create unpredictable outcomes for Venezuela's future. Venezuela serves as a microcosm of the complex intersections of global forces. The struggle for influence in Latin America has evolved into a new form of conflict. This modern conflict is characterized by economic strategies rather than military actions. Loans are used as a tool to exert influence over Latin American nations. Oil contracts also play a significant role in this new form of conflict. Trade deals are another key component in the battle for influence in the 21st century. Control over key resources will dictate Latin America's future balance of power. Oil resources are a crucial element in this power dynamic. Debt management and financial influence play a significant role. Digital infrastructure is increasingly important for regional control. The control of these elements will shape the region for decades. Influence over these resources determines the region's trajectory. Thank you for watching. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Tell us in the comments what surprised you the most in this video, or what you found the most fascinating. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Many more thrilling, shocking, and mind-blowing stories are coming soon.